And then, yeah.
Did you have an accent when you first got here?
I think so. I definitely did. No, I definitely had a New York accent. I don't even know what, because like when you're in America, you don't think you have an accent. When you're in America, you're like, everybody else has an accent.
Yeah.
It's a very like American thing. I didn't realize how American I was until I came to Canada. And then I was like, oh, yeah, the y'alls and the this and the da-da-da and the slur and you dragging every word. Yeah, I used to talk like that.
So then what was the Toronto slang like for you when you first started picking that up?
I think it's more like, what are people saying? I was like, what are they talking about?
Okay, let me stop you for a quick second because you're originally Jamaican.
Yeah.
So let me ask you that question again. What was the Toronto slang like when you first got here as a Jamaican?
It was still like, what do they do? Like, I know when they're using our words, but like, I'm just like, what is going on? I just wasn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
So, okay. And I want to stay on that for a quick second, okay? Were you going through that whole thing like, why is everybody trying to mimic Jamaicans?
No, it was more like, I'm like, because Jamaica influences the world. Like, what can we do? So like, you kind of, especially in like New York, you just used to like Jamaican culture being part of things. So like, it wasn't like that strange to like see it be part of another place because we're everywhere for some reason. I started everywhere I found a Jamaican without even trying. And so like, that wasn't the weird part. It was just like trying to figure, because they take certain things and add certain things, and I'm just like, it just didn't make sense.
Put our own Toronto stuff on.
But like, starting to learn, then I was like, okay, so that's what you're trying to say. Okay,
So, and then you started going to school over here. You started going to Ryerson.
Yeah, no, I started in high school.
Okay.
And then I went to Ryerson,
Okay, so what was high school life like for you?
It was, so I did grade 8. Grade 8 was nice. I had good teachers. We had like an instrument class. That was my first time ever playing anything. It was terrible. Also had choir. That was all right. Then they actually encouraged me to go into this like musical theater program that was in high school. You had to audition for, which I didn't think I was like good enough to do. But I had this one teacher. She's like, no, you need to go do this. So I auditioned for it. Ended up getting in, and then I was in that program for like all of high school. So every year we had to put on a musical and be part of that, including like. So we had to learn some sight reading. We had to practice with the band. We had to practice choreography. We had to work with the sounds people. Had to work with set design and like run a show and like memorize the script and like put everything together. And
And were you like a good kid in school all the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You ever do anything bad in school, man?
No, I didn't.
No?
Wait, no, I did one time, but like when I did bad things, nobody knew because like I was so good.
Yeah.
So like even when I did anything bad, no one would believe you.
You had good equity.
When I did do it, like no one, they were like, no.
Yeah.
Like no.
So you care to share any? Now that we're like,
let's see, what did I do when I was younger? I ended up thieving from the store for some reason. I didn't even know why. I don't even know why. Like that was in New York, but like I don't know why. But I was thieving from the store. Yeah. I guess just because you could, or something. I don't know. I did that, and then got into like a fight as well. Mind you, it wasn't even my fault. They started because of a seat on the bus.
Okay.
The yellow bus that would take us to school.
Yeah.
And like there was an empty seat. So I sat down. And he was just like, oh, my friend's going to sit here. And I'm like, okay, when your friend gets here, I'll move.
Yeah.
No friend came. So I'm like, okay, cool. Get off the bus now. Now they come and they're like, oh, yo, why you have to take off my seat? I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because mind you, that was the first fight, too. I was never in anything.
And this is in New York, right?
Yeah. This is in New York. And then he was, and then, the people start gathering around the circles. All that stuff on World Star is real. And then I was like, and I'm like, what is going on? I was like, is this really happening over a seat on the bus?
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing over, like, that, everyone took everything so serious.
Yeah.
You like cuff someone, shoot, it's a fight. You like brush somebody, it's a fight. Like everything was a fight.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Wow.
And that one, he punched me. Nothing happened. I was like, okay. And then I punched him and his nose started bleeding and like all this. And I was like, oh. oh, you know, and the crowd goes, and like, oh, and then his friend comes up and be like, oh, that's his cousin, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what is going on? I was just like, are we done? Like,
yeah.
And I just went to class.
That's crazy. So how did you stay focused?
In New York, I just tried to focus on the work.
Yeah.
I tried to focus on the work. Once I got to...
Not just New York. Not to interrupt you. Just in general. Because you've moved from place to place, you know, and I guess the most that you would be able to catch that life where you're like seeing things and being able to make your own decisions is New York, Brooklyn, New York, which is a lot of things that you can deviate and get into, right? There's a lot of fucking gangsters out there, right? And Toronto, nothing different. There's a lot of shit. There's Bloods and Crips. There's everything that goes on all over the place. So how do you stay focused at a young age and not fall into the bullshit?
I don't know. I mean, like, for one, like, I was never one to do what everyone else was doing. I think they always say I'm feisty. Or I'm bright and rude. Yeah. Because, you know, I'm more opinionated and, like, I would say what I had to say. Or I say nothing. Most times I'll say nothing. Yeah. Because I know once I say what I have to say, you're going to be mad. You're going to be vexed. You're vexed. Yeah. So, like, we try not to say anything. But when I do, everyone say you're rude, you're this and you're that. So, like, I already thought for myself from a young age, like, I know what I think about this. And just because you thought this about this doesn't mean I have to think this about this. Yeah. And, like, so that's just how I was operating when I was younger. And I guess I just kind of went where I wanted to go. And, like, when I would see certain things happen in certain ways, I'm like, I'm going to just stay over here. Yeah. Because then I'll see other people that maybe I was friends with or I knew, like, go do all this shit. And then, like, shit happens and I'm just like, nope. Yeah. Not for me.
Do you think it was also a product of, like, the way that you were brought up in the home?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Parents were, like, super Christian, too. So, like, I'm sure all the prayers kept me safe. And, yeah, just, like, I don't know, I just wasn't as, like, enticed with all the other stuff people, like, cared about. I just didn't care.
Yeah, you stayed focused.
It's just like, okay.
Yeah. And even, like, as you started growing up and you got into Ryerson, right? You did something... You started a group called RyeSwat, right? Now Rye Records, right? So for artists on campus that to record an album, and you guys did an album called what is it? The Vision?
Yeah.
Right. So how did that happen?
So I got to Ryerson and I learned at the end of high school that, like, being involved makes school way more fun. Because for, like, the first 3 years, I didn't do anything. It was just, like, go home. Right. But I also had to take care of my brother. But, like, and then towards the end, I started doing my extracurricular, like the dance team, like some of the improv team, like other. So I'm like, okay, like, it made things more like you actually want to do things. So as soon as I got to university, I was like, okay, getting involved. So I started joining a whole bunch of groups. One of them ended up being, like, musicians at Ryerson. They had, like, a songwriting workshop. And I was just like, oh, I don't know what that is, but I want to go. So I went to go see what that is. And we learned what songwriting was. I learned that everything I was doing in the shower was actually songwriting, just making stuff up. And my mind was blown since then. And I was just, like, obsessed with music. Yeah. Started practicing, started writing. And then I was just, like, paying attention on campus. I see everything was about, like, musicians who played. But, like, I didn't play. I knew other people that didn't play. So there was, like, a missing for, like, more urban music that people necessarily play, but they still wrote and they still performed. So I was like, how do I, like, do something?
Yeah, you're like, there was that whole thing that if you don't play an instrument,
exactly, you're not a real musician, or like you're not a real artist. And I'm just like, what? Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. Then we won't have to be that. Then we'll just be artists. Fine. I won't be a musician. Yeah. And so I started a group for that. I found, like, some friends who, like, were also interested in music. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make a student group. I didn't even know how to get funding. Yeah. I didn't know how to do anything. I just knew people did it, and I was like, I want to do one because, like, the other group was being, like, too standoffish. So I figured it out. We got some money from the union, got some money from other parts of the university. Yeah. Just found, like, some other artists on campus. It was just like, oh, we're going to do this album. Mind you, I've never put together a project. I've never done an album. I was just figuring everything out, just finding out on the fly. Yeah. So, like, I ended up, like, finding a couple studios. I went to one, like, to test them out first. And a lot of them were weird because they don't know what urban music is. Right. Or, like, they think they do, But then when they're like mixing stuff, it sounds really weird.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're used to like having a guitar in here and you're used to having a band. You just don't understand
mixing the beat.
Yeah, or like what we sound like, or what the vocals would be doing, or you're trying to like add things. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, So that was an interesting experience. And then I found this other studio in Toronto that was more urban. I was like, okay, they actually get it. They listen to this kind of music too. Mm-hmm. They know what's going on. Great. So I booked that in. I got like the schedule for all the people that want to be on the project. Yeah. Found a time for them to record. Booked their recording session, their mastering session. Made sure everyone got there. Yeah. Found someone to do the graphic for the cover art. Figured out how to found something about CD Baby. I was like, oh, so that's how you get music online. So I was like, okay, did that, created an account for the group, submitted that. Then I was like, oh, right, we need some visuals. Yeah. Try to find some videographers on campus, create some visuals. Like, so it was all learning, working with the artists to figure out what they wanted to communicate it with the other people to like, yeah, it was a lot.
And were you already putting out music at that point?
No, I didn't put anything out before that. That was just like...
So this is all pre you putting out your own stuff.
Then we're ready to get busy. Take a risk, get a little frisky. Yeah. Don't you know I'm feeling you?
Yeah, this is all pre...
That's fascinating.
Any of that.
Wow. So what motivated you to want to do that when you're not even putting out music yourself yet?
I don't know. Like, I was just in love with music. Like, after that workshop, I was actually just in love. Like, I started listening to stuff on YouTube. I was just like, everything about music, I wanted to know about it. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to... So, like, I was just, that's it.